hate coming back here. It makes me shake. It makes me feel physically sick. Coming back here makes me relive that day.
A 2-year-old boy from Sheffield has disappeared while on a Greek holiday island.
I thought, Ben's really quiet. And I went out and he wasn't there. Where's Ben? How can a child just vanish?
A full-scale search is continuing for the missing Sheffield toddler who disappeared while staying with his mother.
I appealed for anyone with any information, please come forward.
Police say the boy could have been kidnapped.
Why would someone want to steal my child?
Ο μικρός ο Ben βρίσκεται στα χέρια μου.
We thought, oh my God, this is really important. This could be it.
Εδώ δεν υπάρχει τέτοιο πράγμα, μακάρι να ήταν.
If you don't go, it's going to shoot you.
Να φύγετε, να μην μας κάνετε τέτοιες δουλειές. Γιατί τα πλακώσουμε, τα βγάλουμε τις καραπίνες, να σκοτώσουμε.
It is one of the world's greatest mysteries. What happened to Ben Needham?
It's like being private investigators with no experience whatsoever.
The witness coming forward, this was the breakthrough.
What the bloody hell is going on? Something's happening.
You're left with the one plausible explanation.
They were not looking for a full little body. They were looking for fragments of him.
If he's dead, where's the evidence? Well, if he's alive, where is he?
It's like living my worst nightmare. Someone on that island knows what happened to Ben. I will find the answers. That one is the last ever photograph taken of Ben. The last ever picture taken of him. Absolutely beautiful. Inside and out. Ben was born in 1989. I was still 17. Everybody wanted to spend time with him because he was such a happy little baby. He had a cute little giggle. He would make everybody laugh. My family were a very, very normal working class family. We lived in a very poor area of Sheffield in England. Didn't want Ben to grow up living in a place like that. My parents decided they were going to go and move to the Greek island, of course, to have a better way of life for us. Because it was freedom to me and hopefully to my family. Me and Kerry's dad, Eddie, and the kids, Stephen and Danny. I have 2 brothers, Stephen, who is 2 years younger than me, and Danny, who is 6 years younger than me.
Ben's like a little brother, really. Even though we're a 10-year age gap, we play. He just had a good sense of humour. I made sure I was playing and messing around.
A lot of people thought, you can't just go and live on a Greek island. Well, yes, we can. It's still the same. It's still a beautiful island, and that's the reason why we all came.
Come here and play.
It's not the island itself's fault, is it? My first impression of cars was, wow. Never seen anything like it in my life. You've got the sunshine, the colour of the sea, so blue, so clean. It was like living in a dream world.
The Needhams would have been an unusual addition for the Kos society at the time. This was a closed-off society where everybody knew everyone. This is a conservative part of Greek society. Carrie had Ben when she was very young. All this would have been talked about. Many people would have disapproved. Teenage pregnancy was considered, not the acceptable thing to do.
Everybody seemed so smiley, so happy, so friendly, wanting to help. Now we look back and go, well, were we that stupid to believe that everybody on the island was nice? But we did. We rented some land in Olive Grove off a farmer. absolutely idyllic. Eddie and Stephen got a job to renovate an old farmhouse, and they went off to work there every single day. I managed to get a waitress job at a hotel very, very close by. I would drop Ben off with my mum. You know, I will take care of Ben while you go to work. I was like the second mother. You didn't think that anything that would ever happen on that island. We had no idea that it held dark secrets. I gave him a kiss on his lips and said goodbye and set off to work. I thought me and Ben could have a little stroll and surprise Eddie and Stephen at work. Ben was in a pushchair and he'd got 2 dinky cars. He was banging them together to make sounds. When we arrived at the farmhouse, Eddie was mixing concrete. They were waiting for Dino, the digger driver, who was helping to build another property. Tree's still there? Yeah, not much of it though, is there? Ben was playing under the tree. We sat inside and Ben was coming in and out of the door, playing. You feel all right? You'll be okay. Stephen decided there's no more work for him to do that day. He said he was going home on his motorbike to get a shower. Ben was still playing outside the farmhouse door, and Stephen just drove off on his motorbike. Stephen was the last person to see Ben. A bit later, I thought, Ben's really quiet. And I went out, and he wasn't there. I was like, where's Ben? Where is he? I came out of this doorway and I went down that way. And then I came back and thought, he can't have got this far. Eddie went across the field shouting his name and he came back saying, he's not there. There's no one there. My dad went to the other property where Dino was working. Dino wasn't around, nobody was around. And that's when we thought, Stephen must have took him on the motorbike. Because Ben was always getting on the motorbike. That was a logical explanation. At that point, we stopped looking. I wasn't alarmed at all. I decided I am not going to tell Kerry because she's at work. And I didn't want to panic her because in my brain, I was still thinking Stephen's going to bring him back in a minute.
Later on that evening, I distinctly remember being with my dad, going to Steve's apartment and saying, hey, Steve, it's only us, where's Ben? And I remember Steve saying, Ben, I ain't got Ben.
Oh my God, where is he then? That's panic. So that's when me and Stephen went to the police station. They decided to send some officers up to the farmhouse and they all searched. My dad searched into places that there would be no way a 21-month-old child could have gone to. He went into grass up to here, and there is no way Ben would have gone in there, but he searched them anyway. The police were questioning my mom about where is the mother. So then the police brought my mom to the hotel where I was working. She's crying, and I said, what's happened? She said, I can't find Ben. What do you mean you can't find Ben? She went, I've lost him. I can't find him. I was proper crying by then. I was like, I've lost him and it's dark and he'll be frightened. And she calmed me down. She said, Mom, it'll be okay. We'll find him. We went up to the farmhouse and we searched, shouting his name. And you're just shouting, waiting to hear a cry or somebody say, I've got him. And it didn't come. It just didn't come. So I'm panicking. My son's going to be scared. He wants his mummy, which was soul-destroying. And it was then the police said, you need to come to the police station now and give your official statements. We were taken one by one into a room. It felt like an interrogation. And that was when the Greek police said to Stephen, "You took the child, you killed the child, you buried the child." Because Ben's nowhere to be seen, they've checked everything. The Greek police were all thinking, the family have got something to do with it. I was an unfit mother for going to work and leaving my child with his grandparents. You're begging them for help, and they're accusing you of doing something. And then it was, well, it must be Stephen then. Stephen had a broken indicator cap on his motorbike, and one of the Greek officers asked Stephen, "Did you have an accident?" Stephen said, "Well, yeah, I did, but it was 3 weeks ago." Stephen said, "They think that I have had an accident with him and buried his body." Stephen was horrified and he walked out of that interrogation room. He was absolutely beside himself.
There was just a little farmhouse opposite where an old Greek couple lived. The old lady actually saw Stephen leave that day on his motorbike, alone.
So then they had to stop accusing Stephen. We're in a foreign country and the police were all we had. I didn't want to lose my temper because I didn't want to upset them.
I would have thought everybody on the plot of land would have been a suspect, irrespective of who they were and their relationship to Ben and his family. There was very little evidence about what had happened to Ben, and every lead needed to be followed up on, so the Kos police had to interview the Needham family, even if it was just to confirm that they were not involved. This is something that everybody on the island would have found out about very quickly. They would be talking about it and probably gossiping as well.
We were horrified at the rubbish they were talking. The grandfather, he's an alcoholic. Or the grandmother, she was having an affair with the local shepherd. It was like, what? Oh, Ben, he was dirty and starving. The mother didn't care. She went to the discos. She was drunk. It was the island rumours that were spreading like wildfire. We were a family needing help. They wasn't interested in helping. They wanted a solution, which was to blame the family. There was just a knock at the door. Opened the door and he said, "Hello, I'm looking for the Needham family." I'm like, "Yes, I'm here from the Sun newspaper." That's when the news broke in the UK. I think the whole of the British media turned up.
A 2-year-old boy from Sheffield has disappeared while on a Greek holiday island. Police say he may have been kidnapped.
That was the first report that was broadcast anywhere about Ben's disappearance. When the call came in to report that a child had gone missing on a Greek island, everybody's ears pricked up. We hadn't heard of anything quite like it.
What have the police been doing to try to find Benny?
Just searching everywhere.
And within days, it had gone from a regional news programme to be covered by all the national newspapers. The thought was, child's gone, disappeared on a Greek island, must have been abducted.
And what would you say to anybody listening to this who might actually have some information about Benny?
Bring him back to me.
So the next question would be, who's done it? Why have they done it? It was a complete mystery.
In Greece, a scandal has come into the open of the theft of thousands of babies from poor and illiterate parents.
In Greece today, there is an active illegal trade in children being sold for adoption.
We actually learned that child trafficking in Greece had been rife We already had our suspicions that Ben had been abducted, but the more times we spoke to people, the more apparent it became.
The Needham family uncovered a very, very murky world.
Μεγαλύτερη τιμή, αν είναι κορίτσι είναι χαμηλότερη τιμή. Αν είναι ξανθό, με γαλανά μάτια, με άσπρο δέρμα, οπωσδήποτε είναι υψηλότερες τιμές. Οι τιμές για το αγόρι, μιλάω. Για το κορίτσι μπορεί να είναι 500-800 χιλιάδες λιγότερες.
No wonder the Needhams thought that that could have happened to Ben.
Because Ben had blonde hair and blue eyes, he would fetch the most amount of money. It opened our eyes to someone had taken him. We wholeheartedly believed that Ben had been abducted. It's the only thing that could have happened because there was no cars, there was no danger, he hasn't fallen in the sea and drowned. The only theory that was possible was someone had taken him, but there was no developments, absolutely nothing.
Weeks and weeks went past without anything happening on the island. The Greek police said the search for Ben was being wound down because there was nothing to investigate anymore.
So much time lost. That's when the distrust really started to set in.
At the time, the family were getting no help from the UK embassy. They were banging their heads against a brick wall.
About 6 weeks after Ben disappeared, we thought it necessary to get our family back to England. We needed to talk to the English police because nothing was happening. Day after day of nothingness.
We had no money, so my dad literally sold everything just to get back to the UK. Even down to my mum and dad's wedding rings. Sad. Very, very sad. As the ferry started to leave, I thought, it's a mistake. I am leaving my son behind. I thought I was abandoning him. And Stephen said, we've got to do this. We've got to, we can't, we haven't got any help. We're doing this for Ben. If we go back, we will be able to find him because we'll get the help that we need. And we just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed for hours. When we arrived back in the UK, we were appointed a liaison officer from South Yorkshire Police, and they organised a press conference for us.
Ben's mother made this appeal to holidaymakers in Greece.
Just to keep looking for him. If they think that they see him, take a photograph, please, and bring it home.
They did what they could do, but we were told the British police cannot go and investigate in a missing persons case abroad.
South Yorkshire Police had absolutely no jurisdiction in Greece. They have no jurisdiction to arrest. They have no jurisdiction to question.
No investigating officers. No one to do it for us. We'll do this on our own because we're not getting any help anyway. I appealed for anyone with any information. We've been on holiday in Greece and you've seen a child that resembled Ben. Please come forward. Send photographs if you can. And that's when alleged sightings of Ben started to come in. We got 17 sightings of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed child living on Corfu. He was living amongst Greek people who were very dark-skinned. This sounds promising.
We didn't have the funds, so the media took us out there, just me and Kerry, and we found the place where the boy was.
Myself and my mum just waited for this little boy to appear. I was anxious. He appeared and he was beautiful. He was definitely English. But he wasn't Ben.
She completely lost it. She held her head and ran into the street screaming.
It actually felt like losing him all over again. That experience was one of hundreds. hundreds of sightings coming from the newspapers, from people just sending us letters.
It's now 3 years since the toddler Ben Needham went missing on the Greek island of Kos. Police have failed to trace the boy or uncover any information.
Every single time you get another lead, you think, this is it. It has to be.
It's like being private investigators with no experience whatsoever. If one slipped through the net, how could you not know it was that one?
A private investigator had claimed that the boy, whom he traced to a gypsy camp in northern Greece, was Ben.
And that was our life. That's what we had to do by ourselves.
A computer-generated picture of Ben Needham, as he may look now.
As he was aging, it was becoming more difficult because we didn't exactly know what Ben looked like anymore. So you were guessing from age progression pictures, and the years kept going on and on and on.
Kerry had a really difficult time. How can anybody cope with what she's gone through? Years and years of chasing shadows, and that takes it out of you.
How many more times can I put myself through that pain of losing my boy over and over and over again? Because that's what it felt like, year after year after year. But we didn't give up. It was the 5th anniversary of Ben going missing, and my parents travelled to Athens. They took part in a Greek TV show.
We was told that 99% of Greeks watch that program.
Αναζητάμε αυτό το βράδυ τον Ben Needham.
This was the first time in a couple of years that the case had been featured on Greek television, so it was really important.
Good evening.
How are you? Good evening. Good evening.
Sitting in that TV studio just seemed a bit unreal, but being on that was the most important part to us. We're speaking directly to the Greek people.
Is it guilt or perhaps love that you drive to keep going? Love mostly, and guilt because he was in our care and it's our fault. We have to find him. We have to.
Ναι.
Whilst they were live on that show, a man called in who was in prison, and the whole tone of the show changed.
Και θα ήθελα να καταθέσω ο μικρός Ben βρίσκεται στα χέρια μου.
What the bloody hell is going on? Something's happening.
We thought, oh my God, this is really important. Somebody's telling you something that you've waited to hear for a long time. This could be it.
Βρίσκεται στα χέρια μου. Δύο, τα λέμε στα χέρια μου, βρίσκεται σε έναν ξάδερφό μου. Και αυτή τη στιγμή τώρα ήταν εδώ στην Ελλάδα. Είναι μια άδεια εδώ πέρα. Ο Ben βρίσκεται στην Πάτρα.
The prisoner said that he had seen Ben in 1992 and he was in the company of the Karimi family. They are self-proclaimed to be the king of the travellers in northern Greece.
This was the breakthrough.
My parents took the lead very, very seriously. They'd seen how the people who were live on air were reacting. My parents decided to investigate that claim even further.
The Greek police didn't think it was a credible lead, so we were on our own again. The next step was to go to the prison and speak to the prisoner directly himself.
The media took us out there, just me and Eddie, a cameraman and an interpreter. And we never thought when Ben disappeared that we would end up talking to criminals. We lost everything, so there was nothing else to lose. It was very scary.
Did his cousin take Ben?
Ναι, βέβαια.
Says yes, of course.
Yes. Where is Ben now?
Έχει κάποια οικογένεια στην Πάτρα.
He's in Patra.
Yeah.
In Patra.
I believe that.
I think we'll just die of disappointment if it's not Ben this time.
And then they decided there was only one thing to do, and that was go to visit the Karimi family and ask them questions face to face.
Travelling through northern Greece to search for Ben, we had to go in a lot of travelling community camps. We felt we didn't belong there, but we needed to be there. We thought that if we gave someone enough money, then they would tell us. We would have paid anybody anything for the right information.
Εδώ δεν υπάρχει τέτοιο πράγμα, μακάρι να ήταν.
The family that I was looking for, we'd been told to be very careful, and we were quite apprehensive. We went in with an interpreter who asked if we could speak to the main man, and he did come out. Really mad he was, his face was really angry, and it was quite intimidating. And the interpreter was very, very scared.
Να φύγει και να μην μας κάνετε τέτοιες δουλειές. Γιατί θα πλακώσουμε, θα βάλουμε τις καραπίνες να σκοτώσουμε.
She went, it's gonna get a gun. If you don't go, it's gonna shoot you. He went into the house and came out with a tea towel over his hand. And she said, he's got a gun, we have to go.
Μα τι είναι αυτό που έρχεται και ρωτάς τα μωρά αυτά, τα μωρά, και μας ρωτάς έχουμε κανένα παιδί ξένο. Τι είναι και τελάρα, πάνω και βρήκε. Στο παιδί σιγά σιγά.
It was a dead end. You couldn't take the investigation anywhere else. There was nowhere else to go. The Karimi family denied it. We couldn't prove, we couldn't disprove.
"16 years after Ben went missing, the trail had gone well and truly cold."
And then another British child disappeared abroad.
A family holiday in Portugal has turned into a nightmare. A 3-year-old girl, Madeleine McCann, has disappeared from the apartment where she was sleeping. There are fears she's been abducted.
Another child. And it was like, oh my God, here we go again.
Please, if you have Madeleine, let her come home to her mummy, daddy, brother and sister.
I slowly watched the story unfold about Madeleine.
With the Portuguese now conducting one of the largest search operations ever seen in the Algarve, several senior British detectives are assisting behind the scenes.
There's nothing against the McCanns, there's nothing against what they had, but I was seeing massive differences in how this case was being handled and how Ben's case was handled.
Now about 130 officers working on the case, including scores of detectives brought in from the capital, Lisbon.
The disappearance of Madeleine McCann was like lighting a blue touch paper on the Ben Needham case.
Then the press descended on my doorstep and I did 27 interviews in one day. It's something that no parents should ever have to go through. Ben's name was brought out there again, and then they had to do something. That's when the funding was given to South Yorkshire Police and Operation Ben was launched.
The Home Office has given South Yorkshire Police over £1 million to spend on this new inquiry. So this may well be the last official attempt to find out what happened to Ben.
I'm Matt Fenwick, Detective Superintendent, and I was the lead investigator on Operation Ben. I was the first UK police officer to go to Greece and actually work in conjunction with Greek authorities, actually doing an investigation on foreign soil. It was quite groundbreaking at that time.
South Yorkshire Police would follow up every line of inquiry with a fine-tooth comb.
They were our heroes. At last we've got police who know about investigations, who are going to strip it right back to the beginning.
We believed that they would find the answers.
One of the pivotal lines of inquiry was Ben being abducted by a Roma traveller family. The Keramis family, there were a number of sightings of blonde-haired children of the right age with that family. So we've interviewed all of the Railway Traveller family themselves, and we've taken DNA of the children themselves, who are obviously older by now, and we've been able to completely negate these children were Ben Needham.
The police wanted to discount the Karimis. So the team went to visit the prisoner who had phoned that Greek TV show to say that he knew where Ben was. And he admitted that what he had said was not true. There'd been a feud between the prisoner and the Karimi family, and he wanted to get back at them.
It was always going to be a difficult case, but I really wanted to help Kerry and find out what happened to Ben. But it was a dead end. We've negated all the lines of inquiry that were presented to us.
After 4 years, South Yorkshire Police's intensive work, there was no significant lead.
In 2016, we got a breakthrough. There was a guy called Konstantinos Barkas, known as Dino, and he was a digger driver, and he was working next door to where Ben went missing.
My dad had worked with him on a couple of other jobs. They weren't friends, but they knew each other.
He is the owner of quite a large caterpillar, and when he sits in it, he can't see anything for 10 metres around him because of where is the position and the equipment itself.
Dino was often seen around the area of the farmhouse where Eddie was helping to renovate.
So in 2016, we got approached by a witness that said that he was a friend of Dino and that he'd seen Dino at the property where Ben went missing from on the day that Ben went missing. And he recalls that he's seen Ben playing in the area between the two houses and really close to where the machinery was. I think you've got to bear in mind that were Ben to come into contact with that machinery, then the likelihood is that it would be catastrophic. The witness said that he saw Dino over the following days, and he said that Dino had been red-faced, upset, sweating, was in quite a state. The witness recalls Dino saying that he may have run something over that made a noise. Dino says, I ran over something that yelped and I thought it was a dog. Dino confessed to the witness that he believed it was a possibility that he had killed Ben.
The witness coming forward was the biggest breakthrough that this case had ever had.
This witness also showed us a location that Dino, when he was excavating soil or rocks, he had a location where he would dump it, and he showed us where that location was. This was the most conclusive piece of information that we'd ever come across.
A new witness has come forward to say that Ben, who went missing on July the 24th, 1991, when he was just 21 months old, was actually killed that same day. It's thought he was hit by a digger working near the farmhouse where he was playing. The driver then buried his body.
Dino passed away in 2015. I think the witness only came forward, 21 years later because Dino had died. I think that there could have been a level of guilt whereby he wanted to let Kerry know what he believed had actually happened. As a result of the information that we got from the witness, we were able to identify a site and we were able to do an excavation.
Ben's body may have been buried somewhere in this small, dusty olive grove. After a search that spanned a quarter of a century and much of the planet, the toddler could have been lying here, just yards from where he went missing, all along.
This is where we did the excavation, and this is where we were looking for Ben's remains. We had ground-penetrating radar equipment. We took cadaver dogs over there with us, and we took quite a large-scale dig.
They were not looking for a full little body. They were looking for fragments of him, because he'd been basically crushed to death. Watching the excavation day by day, there was no human bones, there was no decomposed body, there was no Ben's clothes. And every day that went by, expectations of finding Ben's remains drifted further and further and further. And then they found the car.
21 days of excavations on the island culminated in a find police say is of great significance, an item Ben had with him on the day he disappeared.
It was in October 2016. On the very last day of the excavation, one of the Greek volunteers found a toy car.
We were ready for leaving the island, and then I got a phone call that an item of interest had been found, and would we be up for having a look at it? South Yorkshire Police turned up with evidence bags. Inside was a yellow dinky car.
I remember it exactly. We burst into tears. Main characters cried and cried and cried. We said yes, it is a car. Because we actually bought the toys from the toy store in Cost Town for Ben, because he didn't have many toys.
Well, if they found that, have they found Ben? It's like living my worst nightmare.
When we found the toy car, when we found the other bits, the bits of leather, the bits of rubber, we sent them to be forensically tested. And following that forensic examination, they found that there was support for an assumption that the toy car had been in contact with blood or tissue that had now decomposed.
It was the worst news any family can receive, but at least we know what had happened. It was heart-wrenching, absolutely heart-wrenching.
You're left with the one plausible explanation. I think that Dino went into the area where Eddie was and doing the renovations, and then I think Ben was playing between the two properties. I think that it's likely that Ben came into contact with that huge piece of machinery. Yeah, I think Ben died as a result of that. I think it would have been an accident. I believe that Ben's body was moved as a result of a criminal conspiracy to hide the fact of what had taken place. I believe it's the final answer and what happened to Ben.
The feeling of losing Ben will never leave me. Never. I'm okay now. It hurts.
South Yorkshire Police's belief was that Ben had died on the day he went missing. The family going abroad and chasing shadows for 25 years had been a complete waste of time. Who knows? Because Dino can't answer for himself. Dino's family vehemently deny South Yorkshire Police's accusations.
Didn't know what to say. If that's what's happened, then at least I can grieve. It's better than the not knowing, because the not knowing is the hardest. It's hard to accept that Ben's died, but I believe them because they're the police.
The whole place just seemed to be swarming with cameras. I mean, the headline was Ben Needham is dead.
Tonight, devastating news. Police have told Kerry they believe Ben was knocked down and killed on the very day that he went missing.
At the time, in 2016, techniques weren't advanced enough to extract the DNA from the toy car. But 2 years later, there were advances, and they were able to test it for DNA.
2 years after the dig, I got a phone call. Kerry, I'm sorry to tell you that the human decomposition inside the car, it's not a match to Ben's. And I was like thinking, why are you sorry? Because that means he's alive then. That means the accident didn't happen. You didn't find his body, you didn't find anything else. All you found is a toy car. So he's not dead then. 2 years of believing that he was dead, but they couldn't find him. And it was hard.
I do accept that we may not have found the answers that they were looking for, but I think that the chances of him being alive are extremely low. I think it's highly likely that he's dead, and that we haven't found his remains, and we don't know where to look now.
There was one major problem for me. No body was found. If somebody can prove that your son is dead, then okay. they can somehow move on, but they need physical evidence that he's gone. So they can't mourn.
So then my campaign started again then. Ben is still a missing person in my mind. I decided to create a new website. We get messages of support every day. You know, people just send in a quick message saying, you know, I've never forgotten about Ben's case. I'm always checking the emails, I'm always checking the messages, just in case it's that one important thing. It's a case of pushing Ben's name back into the public eye. It is still an ongoing investigation. 35 years on, and we're still no closer than we were in 1991.
Having covered this case for 35 years, I am no closer to knowing the truth. I don't know if Ben's alive, and I don't know if he's dead.
We as a family will never let this lie. I appeal to them people on COS. Tell me the truth, tell me what happened, tell me where he is if you can, and I will go away. But until then, I'm not going anywhere.